And that's when I decided I was gonna have to run for office. And when I jumped out there, you gotta understand, I'm sure you all know, you've heard this before, you're too young, you're too inexperienced. You need to wait your turn. You're being disrespectful. And the favorite one that I like to say is they said, Jermaine, you're too black. And they need leaders who are gonna stop playing politics with their lives and actually get some work done. If I don't present that budget the way that I say I'm gonna present this budget, I will resign on the spot.
All right, back on the revolution. This is a show where we try to get our government back. So we do a lot of different things. We've got some beautiful projects we're working on. Got some updates on corruptionwatch.us, connecting politicians to their donors, to the bills and the results they get for their donors. I'm at some point, either today or another day, I'm gonna get to a JFK clip for you guys that kind of woke me up to basically how our government's run, an old clip that I found. But we are also bringing on candidates and talking about why they're running, why they think our government needs a change. And we've got one of those today. So joining me today is Jermaine Johnson. He's a state representative in South Carolina, and he's now running for governor on the Democratic side. Representative Johnson, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, Jake.
All right, no problem. So look, you had an upset victory that wound up shocking people when you first got into politics. I want to talk about that a little bit. And I want to talk about what you're trying to fix in South Carolina. But first, you were in the NBA D-League, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I played a little bit of basketball, man. Yeah, I played for the Reno Bighorns.
Okay, the Reno Bighorns. Okay, yeah. Okay, so tell me about that. Just let's have a little bit of fun in the beginning here. How was it being in that league? Was it an amazing experience? Was it a hard experience?
It's tough, man, because the NBA D League is considered like the minor league of the NBA. So everybody that's coming from the NBA usually gets sent down to the NBA D League for a little bit. And I went straight to the NBA D League. So I was there for a little while, but then I ended up going to play professional basketball in Brazil, Canada, Portugal, and Mexico. But I played with a lot of NBA guys. You ask Stephen Curry who won the battle between myself and him, he'll have to let you know the truth, which we won that battle. And it's been pretty cool though, man. I had about 6 years of playing professional basketball, and I miss it sometimes, but it was a good time while it lasted.
Well, you and I have something in common then, because I also beat an NBA legend in basketball a couple of times, and that was Daryl Dawkins. So.
Oh man, yeah.
So, what position did you play, Jermaine?
I was a power forward.
Okay, all right, I can see power forward. All right, let's see. Let's see if you're a power forward in politics. So, tell me about why you got into politics in the first place in that first race that you had for the state seat.
Well, we've seen a lot of issues in my state down in South Carolina. And what was happening was this young person who I had helped get a job, he had came to me and he said he had got stopped 3 times in 3 days by the police here. They searched him and they let him go. They didn't give him a ticket or a warning or anything. Well, after that, I went to this event that was happening in my community, coincidentally, about bridging the gap between police and the community. And the police that were there on this panel, they were patting themselves on the back, talking about how great of a job that they were doing in our community, talking about how they do community policing and things. And it was burning me up because I was like, man, I just talked to this young person who said they had stopped him 3 times in 3 days and searched him and let him go. Well, I got up to this podium and I went to ask the police this question, and they were like, no, we don't have these type of problems in our community. Well, I said, well, you're lying to me because I just talked to this young person who said y'all stopped him 3 times in 3 days, you searched him and let him go. And I went on to chastise the police after that. And after I got done speaking, I got a standing ovation. And I was like, man, this is interesting. But as I was walking out of this facility, I got a tap on my shoulder. And this gentleman says, Jermaine, you're exactly what we need. Like, you're the future. Like, young people, they look up to you, they respect you, they want to be like you. And this person was State Representative Joe Neal. If anybody knows who State Representative Joe Neal was, he was very instrumental in getting the Confederate flag off the dome of our Capitol. And he became my mentor. He taught me about politics. He became the individual who was inspiring me to go ahead and run for office. And then when I decided to run for office in 2019, I went to go meet with my state representative. My state representative had been in office for 22 years, and he was literally 50 years older than me. And I went to him and I said, sir, I'm interested in succeeding you after you retire. And he said, Jermaine, I don't believe in succession planning. And I was like, you don't believe in succession planning? You're 50 years older than me. He was literally 83 years old at the time. And that's when I decided I was gonna have to run for office. And when I jumped out there, you gotta understand, I'm sure you all know, you've heard this before, you're too young, you're too inexperienced. You need to wait your turn. You're being disrespectful. And the favorite one that I like to say is they said, Jermaine, you're too black. But I ignored it. I continued to work for the people. I got out there, talked to all the young people. I mobilized a lot of people. And on election night, I got word that I got 76% of the vote to become the youngest and the first African-American to represent my district, which was House District 80 at the time.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. We had a lot in common. You're too black. Somebody once accused me of being not brown enough. So we got color issues apparently. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. You're too black.
Yeah, so if you see my logo, matter of fact, it's behind me, but my logo says Dr. Jermaine Johnson on it. I put doctor on my logo because they said I was too young. They thought I was too young and I looked too young. So I had to put doctor on my campaign signs. I'm a doctor of business administration, but I didn't want to be, going out there flaunting my title or anything, but it's because people said I was too young.
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you about that. You got a PhD in organizational leadership, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So wait a minute, now you're a Representative Johnson, you're Dr. Johnson. So how old are you?
I'm 40.
Okay, so I'm wondering if you're secretly 68 or something.
Yeah, I just turned 40 in July, man. So just get my first gray hairs in my beard now.
So how'd you beat the 22-year incumbent?
It was really talking to people. So I was on the Richland County Recreation Commission for about 4 years. And when I got on that commission, what I did is I never felt right about making policy about people who I had never met. So when we have 52 locations in this county, and I drove around to all the different locations, meeting all the employees, meeting all the constituents, meeting all the people, because I wanted to know how it was for them on the ground. I didn't feel right sitting up top writing policy for those individuals. So when I did that, a lot of people still to this day will say Jermaine is the very first board member that they had ever met, and I truly cared about the people. So because of that, when I decided to run for office and I started doing my call time and calling, doing some phone banking, people would answer the phone. They'd say Jermaine, like Jermaine who? And their kids would be in the background saying, "Oh, that's Jermaine from the gym. He's always in the gym playing basketball with us. He's always mentoring us and talking to us about certain things." And that allowed them to gain a little bit of trust for who I was, knowing that I always had their children and their family's best interests at heart.
Yeah, by the way, our own Jayar Jackson covered one of Jermaine's fiery speeches in South Carolina on the watch list. You guys should check that out. Love that one. So Jermaine, tell me about why you're running for governor. What's the issues in South Carolina you have to fix?
Well, first off, in South Carolina, if people didn't know, they have a trifecta. This state has been ran by a single party rule for 22 years. They have the governor's mansion, they have a supermajority in the House, they have a supermajority in the Senate, they have the education, they have agriculture, they have majority of the congressional seats with the exception of Congressman Clyburn. They have all the power that you would ever want to have. And essentially, they have done nothing with that power because our roads are the top 2 worst in the country. We have the highest percentage of bridges in disrepair in the entire country. We're 43rd in education. We have a homicide rate higher than that of California. We have over 600 unsolved murders in South Carolina just since 2020. We have issues here. And because of the issues that we have here in South Carolina, I wanted to stand up. I wanted to make sure that I'm advocating for the people of South Carolina to bring the priorities back to the forefront of this state. Because everybody in South Carolina wants cheaper groceries. Everybody wants good infrastructure. Everybody wants better education. Everybody wants affordable health care. Everybody wants a safe neighborhood. And that's something that's not partisan at all. People want these things, they need these things, and they deserve these things. And they need leaders who are gonna stop playing politics with their lives and actually get some work done.
So Jermaine, why do you think they don't get them? I mean, the things you're pointing out are pretty glaring issues, right? If you've ranked this low in terms of education, crime, et cetera, especially as governor. I mean, these are really, really core issues. So why do you think that governors in the past have not tackled them?
Well, it's status quo. Somebody's getting paid from keeping the issues here, and they're getting paid handsomely because they're keeping the issues the way they are. And we know the world makes the most money when wars break out, and that's what's happening here in South Carolina. People are just fighting about certain social issues. Instead of addressing the critical issues that we have here in South Carolina. They'd rather talk about social issues. They'd rather give Fox News talking points, such as men and women in bathrooms. They'd rather talk about banning books. They'd rather talk about abortion. They'd rather talk about guns, when really our insurance costs are going skyrocketing through the high because we won't fix our darn infrastructure. That's a problem, and the people of South Carolina, they are so convinced that it's the Democrats' fault that while these issues are happening. And I think the Democrats, we've done ourselves a disservice without just letting people know the truth, that hey, listen, the message is there's not enough Democrats to even affect anything in the state government. Literally, because of this supermajority that they have, all Democrats can say, we're not going to show up one day, just like Texas did. But the difference here that the Republicans will have enough of a quorum here in South Carolina that they can pass any law that they want without a single Democrat vote. We've done a poor job at letting the people of South Carolina know that, hey, these are the people in power. If you want to fix something, go talk to them. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, how can it be the Democrats' fault if the Democrats not only are not in charge, but haven't been in charge for a long, long time?
Right.
And are a tiny minority in South Carolina. No, the Republican politicians did this in South Carolina. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Okay, but nevertheless, that is an issue you have in a deeply red state like South Carolina. So how do you get past it in order to win the general election?
Well, the thing is, we know in South Carolina that in 2020, Jamie Harrison raised an ungodly amount of money in 2020. But what we learned from that race is that when he got 1.1 million votes, there are at least 1.1 million people in South Carolina that are willing to vote for a black guy and a Democrat at that. That's what we learned. But also in 2022, when our current governor ran, he only got 987,000 votes. That means that there are people here who are willing to vote more for the black Democrat than they are to vote for the Republican governor. We have the numbers here in South Carolina. We're not a red state, we're a no vote state. We're not a red state, we are a purple state. We can actually win, but the problem is GOTV. But we do have a path to victory if we inspire, if we motivate, if we provide some hope for people and some real solutions to their everyday problems.
So Jermaine, where would you put yourself within the Democratic Party? Because there are different wings of the Democratic Party. There are folks who are a little bit more conservative, whether it's social issues, economic issues. Folks are more progressive or populist. There's a lot of different factions. So where would you put yourself?
I am an independent thinker through and through. I will go with whatever the solution is to solve the people's problems. And all the media in South Carolina, they have always framed me as the independent thinker. I have stood with Republicans when they were right about something. I have stood with Democrats, majority of the time when they're right about something. I have stood out by myself when I felt like both sides were wrong. And I don't have a problem with that. So I don't even know. I think we might have to invent a new spectrum of Democrat for myself, because I'm going wherever somebody is right. If it's a Green Party person who I believe is right about something, I will go there. I truly want to just solve the problems. And I'm not gonna play politics with people's lives, because people are dying every single day based on us playing politics. It makes no sense whatsoever. While we have a state that has one of the highest amounts of guns stolen out of cars in the country, but yet we won't enact a negligent storage law in South Carolina to save lives. I mean, we won't do it. So I think I'm an independent thinker. I'm an independent type individual, and I'm always gonna do what's right for people.
So it's funny that the category of independent thinkers is such a different, small minority of politicians. Like most politicians, not independent thinking. Well, you give me an agenda, I don't even think about it, I'm gonna do it, right? And that's it.
And it's crazy, yes. This is literally what we see here, yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny that that's a separate category. But anyways, all right, one more thing. So Dr. Johnson, people are gonna ask, yeah, okay, I hear you, but we've had a lot of Democrats, including people that came on this show, and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, then they get into office and they just don't do it, right? So how can people trust you and know that you are going to actually deliver these things?
So I'm never gonna lie to anybody. And I've told people that I'm gonna present a budget that is also going to get rid of some of this governmental waste, because we do have governmental waste that's going on in South Carolina. And I've already made this claim. I said, if I don't present that budget the way that I say I'm gonna present this budget, I will resign on the spot. I put my money where my mouth is. So if I don't do and hold myself accountable the way that you all want to hold me accountable, I will resign on the spot. And I don't think any other candidates out there will actually give you that word that they will resign if they don't do what they say they're gonna do. So you can trust me because I will hold myself accountable by resigning if I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing.
All right, and last question, why are you better than the other Democrats in the race?
What are the Democrats in the race?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Normally there's a primary for an important position like governor. Are there any other Democrats in the race?
There might be one, but we're not even going to talk about him because I've got a plan, and this is what we're going to do here. I'm not running against anybody else. I'm running for the people of South Carolina, and that's the only people I need to be talking about right now. Not anybody else who wants to think that they're better or the best or anything like that. We are running for the people of South Carolina.
And what kind of chance do they have against you when even Steph Curry couldn't beat you?
Listen, you gotta call Steph and ask him, man, how he feels, 20 years after losing to me, man.
Yeah, well, since I got him on speed dial, I'm gonna call him after the show and ask to confirm your story.
Yeah. Yeah, let him know. So we were actually in the Sports Illustrated together. There's a picture of me and him in the Sports Illustrated where I was guarding him and everything, man. So he will remember that. It was his last loss of his collegiate career.
All right, okay. If I ever run into Steph Curry, then I'll ask him. Okay, all right. Jermaine Johnson, state rep in South Carolina, running for governor in South Carolina's website is johnsonforsc.com, johnsonforsc.com. Jermaine, thank you for joining us, appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.